Hey guys, what's up? Jimmy here with another Lots of Games review. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you guys Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Before I get started with the review, guys, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to the folks at Leap Trade for making this review possible. A fantastic site for trading in your old games and getting credit and be able to get new games. And say for instance a game like Destiny, you're going to be able to get a whole lot more credit for that game than you would be like trading that game into, say, like GameStop or Amazon. I'll include a link in the video description below. My referral link if you want to sign up for a free account. If you want to start trading in your old games and getting maximum trade-in value, definitely check out Leap Trade. But definitely I want to thank the folks at Leap Trade for making this review possible. So Shadow of Mordor is a game actually I had seen trailers for it. I had seen gameplay footage for it. And I thought it looked interesting, though I kind of get a little bit nervous when it comes to movie or television or comic book tie-in games. But some of you guys, I kept getting feedback from you guys saying how this game is a game that you guys are really looking forward to. And granted, this game has been out for about a month or so, and some of you guys still might not be too sure about this game. Shadow of Mordor, just to let you guys know, it is an open world game. Now, not too long ago I had the opportunity to actually play Far Cry 4, and that is a game that's very open wide, and it's a huge world to explore. And a lot of you guys out there maybe have played some open world games with huge worlds or huge areas to explore. And let me just clarify with Shadow of Mordor, this is of course, an open world game, but it's a much smaller open world game than maybe what you're used to. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. This game is full of life. It is jam-packed with enemies. Oftentimes with open world games, it might take a little while for you to find characters to interact with or enemies to take down. That's not the case with Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor, there are just literally enemies around every corner, and just they're everywhere. And there's a lot of different ways. Of course, you engage them and battle with them. You could run past them. You could sneak past them. A lot of people have compared this game to, say, like the Arkham games, like Batman Arkham City, and also they've compared this game to like Assassin's Creed, being able to take down enemies in a stealth way. And that is true. This game definitely has those attributes, and the folks that are responsible for this game, Monolith, they're no strangers to creating good games. Of course, they're responsible for the Fear series. So I've had the opportunity, guys, to put a lot of hours on Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, and I have to say, guys, if you don't see this in my top 10 best games of 2014, be very surprised. Of course, there's a few more big releases coming out for 2014, but guys, this is a phenomenal game. It is a beautiful game. And it's kind of weird seeing that, there's a lot of mountainous areas, or there's a lot of dirt, a lot of mud, kind of like almost like a grim setting. But even so, the visuals, I played this one on the PS4, totally blown away by the visuals in this game. And the way the gameplay and the combat works out, like I mentioned earlier, with the enemies you'll encounter, of course, you can take them head on if you want, whether it's with your arrows or with your blades. You can go about in a stealth maneuver, be able to kind of hop up on ledges and be able to kind of get a nice vantage point. And there's going to be certain things that you can use to your advantage, whether it's explosions or to shoot down massive hanging pieces of meat. And when you shoot that down, there'll be these beasts that'll come into the picture, and they'll be able to kind of whittle down your enemies depending on the type of forces you're facing. But as mentioned, with a lot of people that have been comparing this game with some of the Batman Arkham games, or also maybe even Sleeping Dogs in terms of the combat, where there's multiple enemies coming at you, and you're not going to be able to take them down all at once without using some type of strategy. But what I found actually with Shadow of Mordor, it's almost like the Batman games or Sleeping Dogs to an extreme level, because at some points in some of these battles, there are so many enemies on the same screen, and you're gonna have to be really, persistent and careful on how you go about some of these battles. Of course, in the game, you're gonna have the chance to, defeat foes and to also complete these side missions, and you'll be able to level up and be able to gain new abilities and attributes and skills. And trust me, you're going to want a lot of these new skills and abilities to take down some of the characters in the game. What I really thought was interesting and unique and innovative about Shadow of Mordor is so often you'll be in an area and there'll be like the chief or the captain or one of the leaders. It's kind of like this hierarchy in the game, where if you enter battle with this head honcho, and if you actually lose to that character ends up getting stronger, and you'll have the chance to actually face him again. But oftentimes when you defeat that chief or that captain or that leader, sometimes some of his surrounding followers will kind of lose faith or get scared or get nervous or take off. What just a fun, innovative game. It takes a lot of things that you've enjoyed from your other open world games and kind of puts it all together, and it kind of adds a new twist in terms of the hierarchy of being able to, these enemies you're encountering, they're just not nameless and faceless. Being able to enter combat with some of these chiefs, some of these captains, was actually pretty epic, and I really enjoyed it. So guys, I highly recommend that you check out Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. It is a excellent, fantastic open world game. The one problem I kind of had with it was in terms of like the story was just in the beginning, and the first part, it was very interesting and very unique. And later on in the game, you do get to have encounters with Gollum, but the beginning story is very entertaining, and I really wish that the game kind of had the same pacing and intensity in terms of the story and how you kind of interacted with the main characters. It tapered off quite a bit, but overall it's a very enjoyable game. Guys, I highly recommend that you pick it up when you get the chance. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.